Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I have another rumor for you guys, and it's quite interesting. I'm not the biggest of fan of this rumor. If it is true, I actually think it's pretty idiotic of the New York Knicks. Again, if it is true, even though I'm not the highest on this player, I think the New York Knicks are starting to get desperate, and it's scaring me. Again, I'm not an insider. I'm not like a former GM or anything like that, but these are just my predictions and my opinions. So as you guys know, the New York Knicks are trying to free up cap space to go out there and try to sign a Jalen Brunson. So the Knicks are doing all this work to try to free up cap space. It's not a for sure thing that Jalen Brunson is going to come to the New York Knicks. I've seen some reports that Brunson may be leaning towards the Knicks because of his father, and obviously he knows about the organization and he wants that bag, but he could also get the bag with the Dallas Mavericks as well. They're really confident they're going to be able to give the bag to Jalen Brunson. And when you look at the attractive standpoint between the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks, I personally would want to stay in Dallas. You just went to the Western Conference Finals. You're playing with one of the best players in basketball to take pressure off of you. You're still getting the bag. I honestly would stay in Dallas. Like Jason Kidd really believes in you as well. You have a great run culture over there. You just ended up picking up Christian Wood. I know he's not going to be some big time game changer, but I do think he'll be an upgrade compared to Dwight Powell. Defensively, I personally don't think so. But when it comes to offensive versatility, and as you guys know, when it came to after making the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, since the Carmelo Anthony, Steve Novak, J.R. Smith, Chris Copeland, Tyson Chandler, that whole era, the New York Knicks thought it would be smart to hold on to guys that help them go to the playoffs, show loyalty, show stability by bringing back Burks, bringing back Noel, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson. We know we brought back Julius Randle. We brought back a lot of guys that helped us go to the playoffs and just show that we pay respect to the players that helped us go to the playoffs and just really show a good culture. But it looks like it's kind of bitten the Knicks in the ass. A lot of Knicks fans, including me, thought the Burks contract was going to be flexible enough to get off the books if he was underachieving with the New York Knicks. And now the Knicks are trying to move on from Burks, move on from Noel, to give us some flexibility in the cap to go after Brunson or any other free agents. Obviously, we know Brunson is the top priority out there. That's where all the reports are really aiming towards. If it's Woj and Begley, all the top reporters out there in the world, beat writers when it comes to the NBA. But we obviously still haven't moved on from Noel. We still obviously haven't moved on from an Alec Burks. So are these contracts actually harder than they thought to move on from because they are aging players? Nowadays, it seems like these young players have come in with similar skill sets that you could just still have. Like, you could have these younger players on your roster that are just as effective. Yes, they may not have the experience, but they're just as effective. They're younger with higher upside, and they're on cheaper rookie types of contracts. So maybe a lot of teams aren't really attracted to Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel right now. And maybe the New York Knicks are getting a little desperate. This is a rumor. I'm not sure if this is a true report, but it is by a verified account on Twitter of Michael Scotto, who's a beat reporter of the NBA. And I don't know, I wouldn't be the biggest of fan of this move personally. It just shows the New York Knicks are getting desperate. We will be getting into. But to give my quick thoughts on Jalen Brunson, I do think Jalen Brunson is a good player with $20 to $25 million per year for him. I wouldn't be the biggest of fan of. He improves our team, but I don't know if he moves the needle personally, and he brings a lot to the table. I think he would help out Randall. I think he would help out RJ. Obviously, he's shown to be a big-time clutch performer, but we've seen when there's certain defensive personnel like the Golden State Warriors, a very good defensive team, he didn't do the best, and now there's going to be added pressure without a Luka Doncic of a main ball handler. There's going to be a lot more shot creation duties on him. I like his heart, though. He plays extremely hard. But now this report I'm going to be getting into, the Knicks could trade Cam Reddish to create more cap space for a run at Jalen Brunson. When New York tried to trade for Pistons guard Jaden Ivey, Reddish was a part of the proposal. Sources said Taj Gibson could also be waived to free up cap space. So Taj Gibson, I could just see him being waived. He's been in the NBA for tons of years. I would be surprised if he doesn't end up being a trader or a coach under Tom Thibodeau, because freaking Tom Thibodeau coached him when he was with the Bulls, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now with the New York Knicks, this is third stint with Tom Thibodeau, and Taj Gibson's obviously getting older and all that. So obviously we went on to trade for Cam Reddish, giving up a first-round draft pick to the Atlanta Hawks. We gave up Kevin Knox as well. We didn't really give up a lot for Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish was someone who was the 10th overall pick, like coming out of Duke. He had a different type of role, a lot of talent, but he didn't really put it all together. A lot of people were comparing him to Paul George. I personally don't think he would be Paul George. I think he could be a quality player, but a lot of Knicks fans think just because he was supposed to be Paul George that he's still Paul George in their minds and their eyes, and he could be that still with the New York Knicks. And I really wonder if Tom Thibodeau is bitching. Sorry if you heard my brother a little bit, he's screaming at a video game. I really wonder if Tom Thibodeau is bitching around Leon Rose. Leon Rose wanted Cam Reddish. Tom Thibodeau didn't want Cam Reddish. He didn't give him a lot of minutes, even when some injuries occurred at times. But speaking of injuries, Cam Reddish, that's been a big part of his career. He hasn't been able to carve out roles due to shoulder injuries, back injuries, Achilles injuries, ankle injuries. When you're not healthy, you're not going to really be able to prove yourself in the NBA. But I feel like the Knicks, if this is true, I think one of the main reasons they're trying to trade Cam Reddish, they're getting so desperate to create more cap space for Jalen Brunson. There's no for sure thing that they're going to go on to get Jalen Brunson as well. He may end up staying in Dallas. I think it's either Dallas or us, in my opinion. But maybe Cam Reddish is more attractive to other teams because he's younger, he has a lot of upside, and maybe they could put him in the position to be successful. Maybe a team like the Pistons, maybe a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder would really be attracted to his skill set. It all comes down to his motor, though. When does he bring it every night? When he brings it, he's a quality player in the NBA. And I was excited when we got him because it was kind of a low risk, high reward. We didn't give up much, and when we ended up giving up that Hornets pick to the Atlanta Hawks, the Hornets ended up holding on to it due to the protections, and because it stayed within the top 16, I believe. I'm trying to remember how that pick was at the end of the day, but the Atlanta Hawks didn't end up getting that pick. Obviously, they ended up with AJ Griffin, who's a good player. When it comes to 2022 NBA draft, shot over 44% from three. I think he'll fit in very well in their system. He has to stay healthy, but maybe they're like, yeah, we're getting desperate. There's going to be some team that's more attracted to Cam Reddish to free up cap space. But I like the elements Cam Reddish brings when it comes to shot creating. Yes, his mid-range shot needs work, but he brought another element of athleticism. I thought we needed more of that, but we didn't get to see much of him. And he only has like one more year left on his deal. So I would like to hold on to Reddish one more year, let him prove himself. And if he doesn't stay healthy again, let him walk. But I don't know. Let me know down below your thoughts. Do you think the New York Knicks are stupid when it comes to this? Like another player that we don't develop? Yes, we didn't give up much, but we just got this guy, and we may just be trying to move on from him for cap space. So yeah, let me know down below your thoughts. I really appreciate your support. Again, this is a rumor. Peace out, y'all.